Garrett Blevins here with day 2 of Hell Week. This was a 4x3 on bench press, and I went a little heavier than the percentage would have called for based on 95% of my 1 rep max, because I think I'm pretty close just day in and day out to where my maximal bench is, which is 465 last time I tested it with a pause. And so I did 405 for 4 sets of 3. Next week I'll probably do 415 or 425 for 2 sets of 3. These went pretty well. Some of the reps were a little slower than others. I noticed that my arch kind of varies depending on my setup. Might need to work on getting a little bit more consistent with my bench setup, but overall was pretty happy with this day. I believe, I'm not sure what my last 3 rep PR for pause bench press was, but I know I have not done multiple sets of 405 repping it on paused bench pressing. So feeling pretty good about bench press, hoping to come in and have a mid to high 4 bench press this meet. So we'll see how that goes. I then did a drop set down to 365 for another 4 sets of 3 and finished out with 5 sets of 10 close grip with 225. The 225 sets were really pretty easy overall. That was more just instead of doing a tricep press down with a rope or something like that, since I'm closer to competition, I'm trying to keep as sport specific as possible, and so decided to do some barbell pressing as my assistance work. And normally I don't get a pump, but ended up doing a little bit more bodybuilding style rep ranges. I still have 2 weeks, so maybe I can get some gains out of that, but more than anything, it was nice to just get my shoulders warm and moving, especially after a lot of that heavy pressing. It felt good to just get some movement going on. Continuing on with this week of testing, I want to talk about the testing of Jesus. And this is the second temptation that we learn about in Matthew, where Satan takes him up to the pinnacle of the temple and tells him to throw himself down. And Satan says, quoting scripture actually to Jesus, that God will save him. God will command his angels concerning him so that nothing bad happens to him. But this is not the way that Jesus is supposed to live his life. This is not the way that Jesus is supposed to use power. In fact, the mission that Jesus has is to suffer and to die, to show a totally different understanding of power, the power of faithful hope, where Jesus is depending upon God to vindicate him as he is obedient, not to vindicate him as he puts God to the test. Kind of like the genie in the bottle, do what I tell you to do, save me whenever I do anything I want to do. So this is an important thing to remember, at least for me, that my life is not about what I want to do, and I'm not to try to take power over God and make God serve me. As I understand it, it is always my job to serve my Creator. I did not create God. I believe God created me. I know there are those who disagree, but that's what I believe. So hope wherever you're at, you're doing well. Blessings.